Brunswick Parking Authority to order. Mitch, can you please read the public notice?
Sure. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been complied with and satisfied in that the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time, place, and conduct of all public meetings of the New Brunswick Parking Authority, has been filed with the City Clerk, has been placed on an appropriate bulletin board in the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of New Brunswick, namely the Home News and Tribune, as per the annual notice provided in a resolution adopted by this governing body on December 29, 1975. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to take roll call.
Please do.
Chairman McDermott.
Present.
Vice Chairman Caputo, absent. Treasurer Garlotti.
Present.
Secretary Keefe.
Here.
And Commissioner Ito.
Present.
And I believe we have other people on the phone as well. David Mincello.
Yes, Mitch, I'm here.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Bright.
Hi, David. Yes, I'm here.
Anyone else on the call? I did not.
Okay, thanks, Mitch.
Okay, all
So
set.
we've received the April 2020 board minutes. Unless there are any corrections or additions to those, I'd like to look for a motion to adopt the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
And a second? I'll second it. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Thank you. I see our next item on the agenda is public comment. Is there any public comment this evening?
Mr. Chairman, I need to I need to recognize everyone's vote on that. If I could just back up.
I'm sorry. You want to do that roll call? Sorry.
Yes. So this is to approve the minutes for the April. Mr. McTurnan?
Yes.
Mr. Caputo is absent. Mr. Garlotti?
Yes.
Mr. Keefe?
Yes.
Ms. Ito?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch. Okay, now, is there any public comment this evening?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Good evening, members of the board. Charles Cradaville, New Brunswick Today. I want to thank the executive director for sending me a copy of the amended agenda earlier today to let me know about the change. I do want to ask, though, about that agenda. What happened to the executive director's report that's normally in the agenda? I think a couple months ago it stopped being part of the agenda. Is it going to return? Can you give us an update on the authority's finances and how you're dealing with the obvious struggles?
Well, I think the executive director report, I hope to bring back when everybody's present. I held it off to keep the conference call down to a regular time. Obviously, the demand for daily parking is down. Luckily, we have Robert Johnson and the county and Rutgers University who we provide monthly parking for. So we're doing our best to balance our budget. We have laid off some employees, and right now we're in good shape.
Okay. Can I just get some details on the layoffs? Are there any furloughs as well as layoffs, or just layoffs? How many affected?
If you send me an email, I'll be more than happy. I don't have the exact numbers here.
Okay. And I noticed the authority was advertising a special for people to bulk purchase in advance. Have you gotten any takers? How's that working out?
Yeah, we've gotten takers.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how does the deal compare to normal?
Well, it actually comes out to $5. $5 a stay at a parking garage for up to 6 hours. So just for 2 hours alone, it's $6.
Right. So
it's a great deal. We're hoping we're using that to get people back into New Brunswick once the city begins to reopen, and to make it attractive as far as parking goes once again, and then hopefully they'll come and frequent the businesses, the restaurants, whatever reopens.
Thank you. I do want to ask about a couple other items on the agenda: the borrowing, refinancing of the, refunding of the $27 million in bonds. Does this affect the total amount of debt that the authority will have, or is it still?
No, the debt will remain the same. It's basically refunding the same amount that's currently outstanding for the 2010A and 2010D series. But we're borrowing at a lower interest rate, so therefore we're saving $2.5 million over the rest of the life of the bond, which is 6 years.
I gotcha. And I guess the Willents firm is in charge of doing the
That's our
paperwork?
bond counsel.
Yeah, do you know how much their fee is for that?
I do not have that. That doesn't come about until the bond sale.
Gotcha. And can you tell me just about the future of borrowing for the authority? Are you planning to borrow, for instance, for the Hub or the Cancer Institute? Planning to
Well, basically,
add to that debt load?
any type, and I'll be general with this, because any type of construction of a parking garage, obviously, we would need to finance. We haven't decided yet on any garages or the size of any garages. Obviously, before we go out and borrow, we have to do a feasibility study to make sure that the project works. And at that point, obviously, we'll base our borrowing on the feasibility of any garage that will be built.
Okay. Just notice the addition of the agenda, the secretary designate, is that what you were talking about before?
Yeah. So basically, that's
Mr. Bellatti's going to take over?
since Ed Keefe is, no offense, Mr. Keefe, but he's part of the vulnerable population and at a higher risk for COVID. I think it's best if we kept him out of the office or present papers for him to sign. So Lou will fill in during the state of emergency to sign basically official documents.
Right.
Such as the bond or something like that.
And he'll continue to be the treasurer as well?
Yes.
Okay. And I wanted to just follow up on the issue I have been bringing up many times, the suicides from the decks. Is there any update on what the authority might do to combat people, jumping off of the decks?
Well, I've been in touch. I mentioned to you that we've been in touch with Tim Haas before this pandemic started. It's been put on the back burner due to this pandemic, but it's something we're looking into.
Great. And were you able to share that article with the board that I had forwarded you?
Mitch, I can answer that if you'd like.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah, Charlie, this is Dave Michelle on the phone.
Hello,
I'll
sir.
let you know that Mitch did forward your article to me, and I did share that with all the commissioners.
Great, thank you for doing that. I know the author put a lot of work into it and cares deeply about the issue. Not me, by the way, I didn't write the article.
You didn't write it.
But I care
You
about
approved it.
I care about it too, I did edit it. And then finally, just on tickets and enforcement, what can the public expect as we move forward? Have you started issuing tickets to, for instance, at the meters?
Yes.
When did that change?
Here's the story. When the governor allowed businesses and construction to begin, businesses such as takeout and pickup, and construction, non-essential construction, I felt it was important to open up the meters, especially for the businesses, so people have a place to pull up to get their whatever they order. It could be it doesn't necessarily have to be a restaurant, it could be any retail shop. We basically give a 15-minute grace period, all right, to do that. And then if you're there longer, and obviously we don't sit around waiting for 15 minutes to be up, we're not that strict. But, if you plan on parking there pretty much all day, you're going to have to pay the meter.
Okay. How about permit parking and alternate side parking?
Alternate side parking, I believe, is going into effect. I think there's going to be an announcement by the city. I don't have the exact date, but I believe the announcement about alternate side is going to come out from the city. And what was the other question?
That's permit parking?
Permit parking has been in effect.
It's been enforced.
We have
all the
not.
time.
Yeah, that's been enforced. And that's continually being enforced.
Yeah, and just on the change to the meter parking, what notice was given to the business owners, for instance, or the people that were affected by those changes?
Well, we put out a notice on our social media, on our website. We put notices on every car that was parked in the meter. We did that for about 3 days. Even the day that it went into effect, which was, I think, the 18th, don't hold me, I think that was that Monday, instead of ticketing people, we put notices on the vehicle. So I think that was sufficient notice.
Okay, and finally, on enforcement, how does it work with the courts? Are the courts open yet? Are there gonna be?
I'm not-
Is there gonna be a backlog of?
I can't answer that. I don't know. I don't know what the courts are doing. I understand that. I think they're doing video type. I don't know.
Okay, but you're
I don't have
submitting
the answer.
tickets to the court still?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Then we go to Trenton. That's basically where it goes.
Okay, I would just encourage everybody to show some compassion. I know a lot of people are going through tough times right now, and it's, you know, to get a parking ticket on top of that when you're just trying to work or you know, trying to reopen the city can really be a setback for folks, and I encourage you to, you know, be compassionate and communicate as much as possible with the public. And thank you for answering my questions. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope to see you all in person very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is resolutions. The first being the payment resolution for May. Can I get a motion to accept the,
I will make a motion.
can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Mitch, would you call the roll for this?
Sure. Mr. McTurnan,
Yes.
Mr. Caputo is absent. Mr. Galati,
Yes.
Mr. Keefe,
Yes.
Ms. Ito.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Item number 2 is the resolution that Mitch discussed earlier about refunding the $27 million of bonds from the series 2020. Is that correct, Mitch?
Well, that would be the new series,
That
would
would
be
be the new
2020,
series.
but it's refunding the 2010A and
The
2010D
2010A. Okay.
series.
Very good. So I thought Mitch gave a good explanation of that, and the savings that would accrue to the authority. Can I get a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Mitch, the roll call, please.
Mr. McTurnan,
Yes.
Mr. Caputo is absent. Mr. Galati,
Yes.
Mr. Keefe,
Yes.
Ms. Ito.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And our third resolution will designate Mr. Garlotti as a designee for the secretary. Can I get a motion for that?
I make a motion.
Thank you. And a second?
I'll second it.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. McTurnan,
Yes.
Mr. Caputo is absent. Mr. Galati,
Yes.
Mr. Keefe,
Yes.
Ms. Ito.
Yeah.
Okay. Lou, thank you for taking on that additional responsibility. Appreciate it. Is there any old business people have to discuss tonight? Mitch, is there any new business?
No.
Okay, in that case, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
And a second, please.
I second it.
Okay, Mitch, roll.
Mr. McTurnan,
Yes.
Mr. Caputo is absent. Mr. Galati,
Yes.
Mr. Keefe,
Yes.
Ms. Ito.
Yeah.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Good night.